This is the story of Rata and the rākau. Rata was a strong young warrior, a toa, a champion, who wanted to be future leader of his iwi. But many in his iwi didn't take him seriously. Rata's people lived on a beautiful island in the ocean of Te Moana Nui a Kiwa, the Pacific Ocean. This island was battered constantly by great storms. Rata's iwi joined with other iwi from their island to discuss the problems. They talked about the weather patterns and what they could do to beat them. The storms were ferocious, were terrible, and lashed at their whare, their houses. The iwi decided that they would use stronger materials to build better homes that could weather the great storms, but Rata alone fought better. Rata wanted to find a great rākau to build a mighty canoe that could take them all the way to Aotearoa. And so, without telling anyone of this plan, Rata snuck into the ngahere that day. Rata searched and searched until he found a great tōtara, a tree worthy of carrying his people to Aotearoa. He took out his great tuki, his axe, and in excitement he chopped and chopped and chopped with all his might and all his power and his kaha. He chopped at this rākau, and soon it had fallen. In excitement, Rata decided that he would go home that night and return in the morning. In his excitement, Rata had forgotten one very important factor. He forgot to offer acknowledgement and thanks to Tāne, the atua of the forest. The children of Tāne, the insects and the manu, crawled out from their homes, furious at what Rata had done to their ngahere. The ants and the insects were furious, filled with rage, wanting him to be punished. But the manu were more peaceful and wanted to forgive Rata for what he had done. Before further arguments were started, a great kereru flew down, his name Kimihia, and he announced that they would replace the rākau, put it back together bit by bit. The next day, Rata returned to the ngahere to find the great tōtara standing where it was yesterday. He was confused and surprised. Did I dream what had happened yesterday? And so, in excitement again, he cut and cut with his tuki and cut the great tōtara down. And that night, again, the ngārara and the manu, the insects and the bird, returned to replace the rākau back to where it was. The next day, Rata returned, completely confused at what he saw. The rākau stood there, pointing towards the sky. Finally, he realized that it was magic. And so he chopped and chopped the rākau down. Using all his might, he did it quickly, and pretending like he was leaving, he actually hid in a bush. And that night he saw all the ngārara and the birds come out, ready to put the rākau back together. But before they could do that, he jumped from the bushes, ready to confront them. He yelled, "Why do you do this? This rākau is for my people. I need it. We need to leave this island. The storms batter our lands." The insects cried out in rage, "Rata, you should not have done this. You have insulted our father. You did not give thanks." The manu as well cried for what he had done, until Kimihia, the great kereru, flew down and announced, "Why did you do this, Rata?" Only then did Rata realize what he had done. He had not given thanks to Tāne for what he was taking. He cried, "I need this rākau. I need to build a great waka so I can take my iwi to a new land. The storms batter our houses. We cannot survive here." The next morning, Rata stepped out of his whare to see the children of Tāne carrying a great waka towards him. His people all saw this mighty endeavour, and so Kimihia flew down to Rata and explained that even though he broke the rules and did not give thanks for what he took, he can see that he is only doing best for his iwi, and thus the children of the forest created this great waka for them to leave the island and set sail for new land. And so Rata became a great leader for his people, finding new lands for them to settle in. But he always remembered that lesson taught to him by the manu and ngārara of the forest, that he should always give thanks for what is given to him and what he takes.